Hello, I've made, I think, was it 6 or 7 or 8 videos on predictions for the Ukraine war. All of them have been extraordinarily accurate until the most recent one got it wrong. On March 10th, I predicted that Russia would be having increased strength and being successful in mid-March and probably take over the city of Bakhmut, which they've been closing in on for some time, probably around March 13, 14. It is now March 27. Did not happen. They couldn't do it, and they've lost momentum with that. They're kind of stalled. The Ukrainians have held off the Russians. So that's the first forecast that I've made of many just wrong. So I was at nearly 100% accuracy in the predictions. That was just wrong. So let's say we're down to 70, 75%. We're still made another, good number of other predictions that are correct. We're still over 50% overall, but that has dropped the accuracy rating considerably. So, of course, predicting specific outcomes is very difficult. All of these forecasts are based just on the starting moment of the war. We don't even have astrology charts for Putin, for Zelensky. Very, very little information. From that little bit, we're trying to predict the momentum, how things develop, and what likely outcomes there will be. Now, these past few weeks, Russia has had some success. There's been meetings between Putin and the head of China, and just recently, over the last few days, Russia has set up some points for launching missiles and sending out airplanes or something like that in Belarus. So, there's been support and very aggressive action as I expected, but it didn't succeed. So the specific forecast was wrong. So let's look at some other forecasts that I already made for the coming up till December. On March 10, I made this forecast for March through December. We'll see if those turn out to be correct or not. I predict that over the summer, it's going to go back and forth with the West having some big success against Russia, but not able to finish it, you might say, and then getting set back a little bit. So some back and forth with some clear, significant success from the West, very likely, but unable to drive Russia out of the Ukraine. And towards the end of 2023, there will be some real negotiations, some actually talking for the first time between Ukraine and Russia, or some softening up, and probably Donald Trump will attempt negotiations. He'll be one person involved with it. I don't know if it's going to be finalized, but we should see that activity, going on in late December. It should be fairly clear that there's a softening and a possibility. We'll see if that happens. And the third thing I predicted is that Putin will go nuclear. He'll use nuclear weapons if he cannot win any other way. If he's pressed to the wall, he'll go nuclear. And we're starting to see increasing evidence of that. Some people say, well, he's just threatening, he's just making a lot of noise to scare people. No, he's not making a lot of noise. He will go nuclear step by step, little by little, increasingly as he needs to. So we'll see if those forecasts come true. So let's go to this bottom paragraph here first, and then I'll talk about the top paragraph. So the overall forecasts have dropped because we got the Bakhmut wrong. Now, I don't know how you put numbers on these things, but I'm being conservative. A lot of you, if you watch all the videos, you may say, well, it's at least 75% when you consider it. But, we want to, be, you might say, harsh in our analysis. We don't want to exaggerate the accuracy. So it's still above 50%. Now, if the forecast for this summer goes wrong, like Russia just, is decimated this summer, or vice versa, or something like that goes on, flat out wrong, then, we're down to 50% at best. So if things develop over the summer, and especially if that softening and negotiations happen in the winter, we've had, at least 5, 6 specific predictions that are accurate and one wrong. So we'll see how it works out. Now, going to the top paragraph, I really don't know what's going to happen. It's not like I'm some kind of wizard. All I'm seeing is the momentums. I'm seeing the forces at work. And so it was true that in March, Russia came on strong. The bombing was intense. There was some general support from his allies and supporters and friends, this strengthening of the relationship with China and so on. So the basic momentum, I think, was there. The specific prediction was wrong. So making specific predictions is very difficult. I don't know all the details. We don't know how much the West, exactly how much they will support Ukraine through the summer. There's a lot of unknowns, but this is just the most likely scenario. I like to make specific predictions because that's a way to test it. It's like more scientific. So that's the specific prediction. We'll see what happens. If the forecasts continue to be pretty accurate through the summer and autumn, it shows that this vibrational astrology forecasting method, based on one little tiny piece of data, the beginning of the war, we don't even have birth data for, or at least I don't, for Putin, Zelensky, other people who are important in this. We do have fairly good data for Biden, but he's more remotely connected to this. We don't have the central people involved. We have very little to go on. But so we'll see what happens if the vibrational astrology can be useful, using this very limited information to see how things go. So we'll see. Anyway, I just wanted to give you that update. Some people have mentioned that, it looks like your forecast is wrong. Yep, it's wrong. And I mean, the specific detail is wrong. Bakhmut is still under Ukrainian control. And I predicted it would be mid-March, would be the big surge and expect that to happen. And sure enough, towards the end of the month, now we're at the end of the month, it's gone back. It's weakened. So I was right about the surge, about the intensity. I was not right about the specific result. And that's what we can judge by, is the specific prediction. So I'm going to be pretty harsh on myself and say I went from nearly 100% all the way down to, say, 70%. So let's see how it goes. It's a test of the ability of vibrational astrology to be useful for seeing the dynamics of what's going on. And the real interest, finally, let me just say this last thing. The real point of this is not to be able to predict events. The real point of this is could the vibrational astrology be useful for building strategies, for understanding the dynamics, for understanding the motivations that people have. And by understanding their motivations, understanding the dynamics, you can therefore make better policy decisions. That's the point. But just as a kind of fun way to test it, I am going out on a limb and making specific predictions as a way to analyze what's going on. So there we are. Thank you very much for listening, my friends. God bless. Namaste.